So this is just going to go through the solutions to the cone, sphere, and cylinder test. And first question was to find the volume of the sphere. So you get out your maths tables, find that the formula is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. I just use pi equal 3.14 here. If you use pi in your calculator, you would have got a slightly different answer, but either way is correct. So I got 523.3 recurring, and which rounds off, that's 0.3333, so it's 523.3 centimeters cubed. And the second part was surface area. Open up your maths tables, find that it's 4 pi r squared, put in the numbers, and I ended up with 314. Nice enough. Question 2 should be nice enough as well. Just be careful you read the question and see that it's the nearest whole number this time. And the first question is find the volume of the cylinder. Again, I use 3.14 here, so look up the tables, you'll find that it's pi r squared h. So 3.14 times 7 squared times 12. Work it out, round it off to the nearest whole number. That's the answer there. I just stuck in what it would be in liters to remind you, because that tends to get asked every now and then. So it's 1.846 liters, which is not relevant to this question. Anyway, the curved surface area is part 2. Again, that's 2 pi r h. That is given to you in your maths tables. Fill in the formula. So therefore it's 528. And you round it off to the nearest whole number. The last part, I made a mistake myself here. It's 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. If you work all that out, you end up with in around 836 should be the correct answer. So there's two nice questions there. Now maybe for question 3, it's a hemisphere. So the way I do it is the volume of the sphere of the same radius divided by 2. In this case, the radius is 5. Now, we're asked to do it in terms of pi this time. So all we do is you just leave pi as it is and type it into your calculator. You end up with a fraction here. You can put it as a decimal if you want, but I just left it as 250 over 3 pi centimeters cubed. And then part 2, you're asked for the total surface area. So again, I get the surface area of a full sphere. That's going to be 4 pi r squared. Divide that by 2. That'll give me the surface area of the curved part of the hemisphere, this bit here. But then I have to add in the thing on top, this guy. So I get 4 pi r squared divided by 2 plus pi r squared, and I end up with 50 pi plus 25 pi is 75 pi. And the next one is the cone. Slant height is L, so that's going to be Pythagoras theorem, and that's a nice one. Turns out to be 13. You go and do that. Curved surface area is pi RL, so that's relying on the answer you got from the first part, so it's pi times 5 times 13. Again, it's in terms of pi, so we leave it at 65 pi. The volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. So 1/3 times pi times 5 squared times 12. If you stick that into your calculator, you will get 100 pi. Now the next bit is the cone is melted down. So we have a cone that has a volume of 100 pi melted down to make a cylinder. So therefore the volume of the cylinder is equal to the volume of the cone. And the volume of the cone was 100 pi. So therefore the cylinder's formula for volume is pi r squared h. The radius is actually 3. Be careful not putting 6 in there because that's the diameter. So we fill in those values into the formula. Instead of r, I now have my 3 there. I've got a pi on each side. They cancel out. So we end up with 11.111 recurring again. That rounds off to 11.1. And then the extension question is pretty tricky. I've tried to explain it here. But if you like, the very bottom part here, the hemisphere part, has a radius of 3. So therefore the height of the cylinder is actually 12. I'm going to run out of time here now, guys, in a second. And then you go off and find the volume of those two separately and add them together. You get 108 pi plus 108 plus 18 pi, and you get 126 pi for the volume of the container. The next part's even trickier again. Let me know if you can't do it, and I'll